What is going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. And big news would happen last night as Carlos Correa would sign with the San Francisco Giants. So, on this broadcast, we're going to look at three takeaways that I have from the signing of this deal. So, we begin with number 3. Now, the third takeaway that I have from this deal is actually the contract itself. A 13-year, $350 million deal for Carlos Correa to the San Francisco Giants. Now, what's significant about that is the fact that because it is over 13 years, very similar to the deal that Bryce Harper worked out with the Philadelphia Phillies, no opt-outs, full no-trade clause, this lowers the average annual value to about $27 million towards the luxury tax threshold, still allowing the Giants to be able to go out and do more things to try to bolster this roster. I think that there's an opportunity for the Giants to really look at using this deal because of having the extended time frame, lowering the average annual value to really start to solidify this roster going forward. I also believe that because of the way that Carlos Correa put this deal together, no opt-outs with the full no trade, he is signifying and signaling that this is where he wants to be for the rest of his career. This is a signal to the organization that this is a player that you're now going to be building your franchise around. This is something that we've known for a long time. Correa is that type of star. He is that type of player, but now this contract signifies that. Now, the second takeaway that I have is that the Giants are still a work in progress. The signing of Carlos Correa doesn't automatically, in my mind, make them a contender at this present moment. I think the other moves that they've made thus far, signing Ross Stripling, signing Mitch Haniger, are good pieces to really start to put this franchise together in a proper way. Being able to have Correa as your foundational building block, being able to add Jock Peterson coming back on the qualifying offer really starts to solidify this roster in certain areas. Now, to me, there's still a lot of weakness in that lineup. Yes, Joey Bart, I do believe, is going to have a better season as he continues to move away from the shadow of Buster Posey. But there's nobody really at first base, second base, third base. What are you now going to do with the defensive incumbent at shortstop, Brandon Crawford? There's going to be questions about this roster. I think that there are some pieces to really like about this team, but you're also having to look at the rotation as well. So it's not even just the lineup for the Giants that is still a work in progress in my mind, but also the entire pitching staff. How are you going to build out this bullpen? How are you going to build out the rotation? Carlos Rondon still isn't back. So there's, to me, still a lot of work to do for the San Francisco Giants, but Carlos Correa is a leader in that clubhouse. He will absolutely be a presence in that lineup, and this is going to be the player that the fans in San Francisco can really rally around. Not to mention, he's very hated by Dodgers fans, and that will make Giants fans love him even more. And the final takeaway, what is next for the San Francisco Giants? As I just mentioned, there's still a lot of holes on this roster that have to be filled. First base, second base, third base, help in the bullpen, help in the rotation. Figuring out the direction of the rest of this roster is going to be very important for Farhan Zaidi and his team. I think that there is still a lot that can be done. Again, having a 13-year contract, lowering that AAV down to $27 million is going to help the Giants still be able to add to this team, both in payroll terms, but also being able to try to acquire some other talent from other places via trade. I think that for the Giants, being able to really solidify themselves in this market right now is going to be of utmost importance. I think that there are some weaknesses in this roster that can be filled, but as is presently constructed, to me, the Giants are still the third best team in the National League West Division. So I think that it's very important that they continue to keep adding, keep going after players, try to build up that rotation, try to build up the bullpen, and really start to solidify the rest of the infield around Carlos Correa. I think that having Haniger and Wright is going to be a very big deal. I think that when you look at the way that the rest of this roster can shake out, there's a lot of questions and a lot of vacancies, and there's going to be competition for the Giants in spring training. There's very little question about that in my mind. But for the Giants, it's going to be very important that they continue to keep building around Carlos Correa. Otherwise, this signing is going to take a few years to actually really start to materialize postseason dominant. So I think that there is a chance that they're going to be able to really start to solidify themselves, and within the next 2 to 3 seasons, really start to be a powerhouse with this signing of Carlos Correa. But as it is right now, there's still more work to be done by the San Francisco Giants. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings down in the comment section below. What are your feelings, Giants fans, about Carlos Correa, about the contract? 13 years, $350 million, $27 million towards the luxury tax. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings, baseball fans, about how this goes. Let me know down in the comments, or find me over on Twitter at banter_baseball, and we can keep the conversation rolling. As always, make sure you keep it locked in here to the Baseball Banter Broadcast as we continue to try to grow this community, this baseball family that we're trying to build out here, and keeping it locked in by hitting that subscribe button and the bell so you know every single time we drop the latest news, notes, or my personal thoughts, theories, and opinions on the game of Major League Baseball. Peace.